First story here. Let's go with the crazy one.
Yeah.
So I can send you this article here in Signal if you would like.
Oh, yeah, I should probably open up Signal. Hey, Oop.
Excuse me. See, this particular article is Fox 13 Seattle, so I will send this to you, and then we can talk about it. Salt Boys. Boom.
Salt Boys.
Okay, done.
Hopefully they'll show up.
Auburn fraudsters who fled town to avoid court sentenced to prison fined more than $60 million.
What?
Yeah, this is just as I was finding local stories. This is just one that they came across. It's such a ludicrous amount of money.
That is a ton of money.
Yeah, no, it's a ridiculous amount of money. So.
Oh, do I got to reinstall Signal? Wow. I'm going to murder somebody.
Wow.
I'm telling you, bro, I love Signal, but the PC app is buggy, glitchy, and every other time you open it, you got to uninstall it and redo it again.
And I haven't had to uninstall and reinstall, but I do have to update frequently. That is for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's interesting.
Well, it should only take about 30 seconds.
Yeah,
we'll watch it.
No problem. So I'll just go ahead and start to read this article. The Seattle U.S. District Court on Monday sentenced Bernard Ross Hansen to 11 years and Diane Renee Erdman to 5 years. Announced U.S. Attorney Nick Brown. The two were convicted on July 2021 and were originally slated to be sentenced April 29th, but fled their home in Auburn and left town.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were arrested in Port Townsend.
Oh, God, I remember this now.
Yes, following an 11-day manhunt, they had bought a new vehicle and 3 loaded guns. The two were found guilty of defrauding thousands of customers of more than $30 million through Hansen's bankrupt company, Northwest Territorial Mint. According to court documents, NWTM was the business of manufacturing medallions and awards, as well as buying, selling, exchanging, storing, and leasing precious metals like gold and silver.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was wondering how it got so high,
Yes.
why the amount was so much. Now I know. Precious metals will go a long way.
Mr. Hansen and Miss Erdman defrauded more than 3,000 people of some $30 million. Money, yeah, that's wild. Money that represents the victims' plans and dreams, retirement, college funds, and inheritances, says U.S. Attorney Nick Brown. It is heartbreaking to hear how the fraud upended their lives, left them working longer, harder, and in deep stress to try to recover. The impact of this fraud goes beyond the significance of dollar figure. I love...
Damn.
Not that it's not tragic, but it's just the flowery language. And all, I don't know. It's just funny. But that's all. It's just... ridiculous. Yeah, and that's, and especially with, we just had Ivan on not too long ago. He's talking about gold and all those things. So it's a ridiculous amount of money for someone to have stolen from someone else.
Oh yeah, dude. That's like, I don't want to say Madoff levels, but I mean that's like small time Madoff levels.
Right. Yes, yeah, exactly.
At Bernie Madoff, dude. Have you ever listened to that? It's on Audible. It's an Audible original. It's a whole little mini series about the Bernie Madoff scandal.
No.
Oh my God, it's so good.
I've never really fucked with Audible before. I've listened to audiobooks before, but never through Audible.
Judgment.
Yeah.
I'm like a shill for Audible, man. I've been on the Audible kick since well before it was popularized. I mean, it was back when I was working at Bennick the first time, so we're probably talking 5-6 years ago. I've been into the Audible game. I got like 300 titles on there, man. I got tons.
Yeah.
I was like, you might have to send me that link again.
No, that's okay. That's all that it was. We can move on to the next story.
King 5.
This one actually has more to do with everything else. So I do want to say hello to Shannon. Thank you. She's here from IRL. So thank you. Thank you again for everybody who subscribed last night, who's here, who's joining us. Thank you, everyone. So now we'll get into one of the real stories we have going on here. This one, like you said, is from King 5, which is one of the local news companies here out of Seattle. The U.S. Supreme Court rules against owner of notorious hotel in Blaine. Blaine is a town in Washington, obviously. It is right on the border of Canada.
It's like right on the border.
Yes. Yes. Freedom! Yeah, we make way too many references to William Wallace.
If the shoe fits.
He has to just get it every day, especially working with you. I can't imagine how he does it.
I don't think we went a whole day without me giving him a freedom line at some point.
Yeah.
Asking him where his kilt's at today, that kind of stuff. God. You going to paint your face blue or what's up, buddy?
Does he have long hair?
I am William Wallace. No, he's a short hair guy.
Yeah. William Wallace, you are blowing an opportunity right now. You've got to grow the mane. Do you think you could do it?
I don't know. I can't. I'm trying to envision William Wallace in like the lion's mane. That is
tough look?
Braveheart.
Does he have a full head of hair?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's just short.
Yeah, he just keeps it short. Old military dude, military cut.
then go for it, William Wallace.
Do it, bro.
You've got to
Do it.
You've got time. I'm telling you. I think I've been going on a year to cut my hair. It's worth it. Okay. Now we can get to this story. It's too much. Okay.
Oh, gee.
This hotel, this bed and breakfast, this inn, it's called the Smuggler's Inn. It's on the border of Canada, right? It's so much on the border of Canada that the border actually runs on his property, and he has a line of rocks that draws out where it is. So obviously
That's right, because that's the border that is just the line of rocks. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's just a line of rocks. So there's a history of, we'll read this article a little bit, then we'll talk about it. Washington, the Supreme Court on Wednesday limited when people can sue federal officials for violation of their rights, siding with the government in a case involving the owner of a notorious inn on the U.S.-Canada border. The justices said that the owner of the Smuggler's Inn, Robert Bull, can't sue a border agent over a confrontation at his inn where he said the agent shoved him and then retaliated against him when he complained that the man had used excessive force. It's the latest in a line of cases narrowing the public's ability to sue federal officials for rights violations. So this is another, we'll go into this a little bit more. This is another example, again, limiting, said he can do awake that. Another example limiting the times in which you can sue a federal agent for infringing your constitutional rights. Okay? Because it's found in this case, they did in fact infringe on his constitutional rights. Those things did happen.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the right to sue them unless Congress says that it's okay first. And that's what Clarence Thomas wrote as an opinion here. So, we'll move on. The justice said the owner of the Smuggler's Inn, Robert Bull, can't sue a border patrol agent. I just read this. Congress is better positioned to create remedies in the border security context, and the government already has provided alternative remedies that protect plaintiffs like Bull. Justice Clarence Thomas wrote. Thomas wrote that the court's cases have made it clear in all but the most unusual circumstances, creating the ability to sue is a job for Congress. And
That seems so.
I'm no constitutional scholar, right? But it doesn't make sense to me in what I've read here and the other research that I did, in any justification, especially after it's ruled that you can in fact sue a federal agent for infringing your constitutional rights, that we're just going to narrow the reasons that you can do it. If someone breaks into your home and they assault you, don't break into, right? So I got to contextualize it correctly. If they come into your business and they assault you, and in the story that I originally heard, they took documents from him, and that's how they found out that the person who was staying there was an illegal immigrant. In this particular article, it just says that the Border Patrol agent figured out that they were illegal. So I don't know how they did that, but
Magic.
That's what comes into like the search and seizure thing, is that they got documents from his residence that show, or from this business that showed that the person was an illegal immigrant.
That's so weird.
So I don't. This isn't good.
No.
Right? And the biggest concern, I can't even say the biggest concern that I have here, it concerns me that we're continuing to see cases that give the authorities in different definitions, different avenues, more power over you. More powers to infringe on your rights, to do things to you, and you can't do anything about it unless Congress says that it's okay.
Yeah.
But if all of these powers are aligned, right, and that's what what they were talking about Timcast last night, is all these different powers being aligned, that even if they're not actively working together, if they're all aligned ideologically, then they are inherently working together because they are all working towards the same common goal.
Yeah.
So even if they're not being directed to do these things, the fact that they're being given more power to infringe on your rights, and it's being done under currently a Congress that falls under the same ideology as the Biden administration, this isn't good.
I see these as added protections for more and more agents of the state.
Yes.
Because that's really what they're talking about, is suing the individual Border Patrol officer for infringing on his rights. Because otherwise, you have to sue the U.S. government for that one individual.
Which is a way bigger job.
Which is a mass and a very large undertaking that most people can't do, versus your average citizen can sue another person for infringing on their rights. But if that person is acting as an agent of the state, then I feel like, yeah, legally you'd be suing the U.S. government or the state government or whatever the arm of the state that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like, I mean, we'll talk about that in the next story too a little bit, with these various overreaches, I think, in authority. And I think really what they're doing at this point is they're finding kind of chinks in the armor, little weak spots in various arms of the state and their enforcement. And then as soon as somebody has even like a chance to to break in legally so they can start to fight against them and get some of their own rights back. They're find that hole and they're trying to plug it.
Right.
And they say, well, you know, you have to do it because
harden the power of the executive.
Yeah.
And that's all that it's doing, even if that's not the goal, you know, because it's difficult. I don't know Clarence Thomas as an individual, right? But supposedly he's very conservative, so I have a hard time thinking that in his mind it's best that we concentrate more power to the executive. But even if that's not your end goal, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what's doing here, is that you're again narrowing the circumstances in which you can sue somebody who is actively infringing on your constitutional rights. Where if they were doing it as a private citizen, you could definitely sue the shit out of them and you'd probably win.
Yeah.
But now, because they have a badge, because they work for the state, you can't touch them, right? There's another example in here. We'll read this article a little bit more. The High Court said in 1971 that people could sue federal officials for violating their constitutional rights, but over the last 40 years, the court has consistently declined to expand these kinds of cases, called Bivens actions, after the 1971 case in which a person could sue. Most recently, in a case in 2020, the justices told parents of a teenager killed in Mexico by a U.S. Border Patrol agent who fired across the border that they couldn't sue. Thomas said the original 1971 case would likely come out differently today, but the court's current case didn't require the court to reconsider it. So I actually have the article that they linked to, and it's an article from the AP, and I will send this to you as well. And it's "The Court Closes Courthouse Doors on Slain Mexican Teens Family."
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat everything.